Good evening, everybody. So, we are waiting for Dr. Sharol to join us. We are doing an interesting live about a topic called Work from Home Essentials. It is need of the hour, especially for IT employees and other people who are working from home. Um, it's good to know what are the do's and don'ts that you can do for better work productivity.
Fine day.
Sharol, I can't see you, but you can see me, is it?
Yeah, I can see you.
And you can see yourself. You can see yourself in the bottom.
I can see myself. Uh, if any of the viewers can ask what's
Okay.
happening.
If any of the family is watching, can you ask them to tell you if they can see both of us or not? Yeah, that's very strange.
Yeah, it is.
Can anyone text if they were able to see Dr. Sharol before? Or were you able to hear her? Yes to hearing or yes to seeing?
I think no one's able to see me for some reason, but I can see you on my screen. So
Okay, so should we just
yeah, but I think we
go
should just go ahead with it.
Okay. Okay, it's gonna be a little weird because I can't see you. It's like I'm talking to screen. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead because we tried multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hi, Dr. Sharol. I don't know wherever you are. Yeah. So,
Hi.
for everyone here, Dr. Sharol is my junior from my med school. We went to same residency, obviously under same professors. She was one of my favorite junior students. She was very knowledgeable and she, she was always punctual and duties with her were literally breeze. So I thought, who better than my junior for us to talk about uh, work from home essentials. Hi, Sharol.
I'm back. This is really bad. I don't know why this is happening today.
Yeah. But did you go off it or?
No, I just get disconnected automatically somehow.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, but I mean, whoever is watching it at home, they are able to see the whole thing. They're not getting knocked out of it.
Okay. So introduce yourself, Sharol, to people. Like, what
So
do you
you've
do?
said so much about me. But yeah, I'm Dr. Sharol Fernandes. I'm from Mangalore, and I'm working as a consultant psychiatrist at Father Muller Medical College in Mangalore.
So, do you see patients who are you seeing currently patients who are coming with I'm not able to work from home, it's getting difficult? She got disconnected, guys. We'll wait for a second. Yeah. Sharol?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're getting disconnected, so we'll just try to do however we can quickly.
I know.
So, do you see patients, Sharol, who are coming and saying I'm not able to work from home? It's giving me a lot of anxiety and poor work productivity. Are you seeing that sort of patient?
Yes. There have been quite a few. Most of the not many people, I think, in Bangalore where I am who work from home. We don't have that many, industrial options or industries or IT companies here. But there have been quite a few patients over the past few months who have come with difficulties because of working from home.
Right, right. Because I'm seeing day in and day out, this is one of the predominant complaint. So that's the reason why I have decided to address this rather than other medical problems, other neurological problems, or neuropsychiatric problems. Meanwhile, if anybody has questions about today's topic, please go ahead. Or what we can do is we can ask Dr. Sharol to join from maybe another Instagram account. Sharol, can you maybe join from your dad's account or your brother's account? So how many of you work at an IT firm right now? I'm a little curious to know. A couple of them I know are doctors already. Sharol?
Yes, I'm here, back here.
Yeah. Do you want to maybe join from your father's account or brother's account?
I can try doing that. I'll just try.
Yeah, from a different device and a different
Yeah.
account altogether.
I'll just
Yeah,
do
yeah. Meanwhile, I'll talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of pros and cons of working from home. For a doctor, I would be so happy and thrilled to work from home without having to go to hospital some days at least. But that's not an option. The whole world is adapting now and adjusting. Even doctors, we are working from home sometimes. We're taking online calls, and you must have seen there are a lot of online portals that have come up in the last 3-4 months, where multiple doctors have joined online portals. So everybody's getting adjusted to working from home. However, it has multiple cons, actually more cons than pros. It depends on how you see it. One of the first thing is definitely lack of structure. When you don't have to go to work on a particular time, when you don't have to come back from the work at a particular time, what happens is to disrupt your entire daily routine. That happens. So hence, you might log in late, you might log out late, you might work over the time, and you might sleep late, and morning again you'll wake up late, and this will catch up, which is very, very difficult for a lot of people to get adjusted to. So here today we are going to address many of those things about how to schedule your time and how to have a routine, so your sleep wake cycle is proper and you're able to be more productive at work. Because they say that somebody who didn't sleep well, their brain works like somebody who had alcohol. Research had even proven that. Right. Now the first pro is obviously to designate a work space. If you're living in a big house or small house or whatever is the size of the house, it doesn't matter. Find a room, or find a corner of a room if you're living in a smaller space, and designate into your workspace. Put some plants, put some garden, little bit of indoor plants. And hi.
Finally.
Finally. Yes.
I
So
had
welcome,
some
Dr.
issue with
Sharol.
my phone.
Yes, nothing wrong with your
Thank
phone.
you.
Yes. So
I'm so sorry about
no problem. I just started
all the
talking about how
technological issues.
to designate a work place in your house that will make you work better.
Yeah.
Are you able to hear me clearly, Sharol?
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
Okay. Is everyone else able to hear me and Dr. Sharol? Because I have echo of my own voice.
No, it's quite clear for me.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Yeah. So I'm telling people how to designate a workspace in the house, how to find a room or a corner of the room where you're completely dedicating to the work, and you're never going to get back once your work is over to that corner. So you feel like you're out of the office.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Why don't you tell us, why is working from home stressful?
Yeah, actually, I mean, people usually assume, no, that working from home should be very chilled and relaxed, and it should be quite flexible, and you have some sort of freedom. But I think once the initial novelty wears off, initially you might be very excited about it. You're going to spend time indoors at home, but later on the problems usually come up. Because a lot of people I know, I don't know if many people know, there was a survey done in India itself in the month of June. So a lot of people reported that they felt more stressful and lethargic after starting working from home when compared to when they used to go to office, which might come as a surprise to people, because you don't expect that. But there are several causes for it. I mean, working from home definitely takes away some things like, the office toxicity of interactions goes down, your commute time, all that is saved. But what adds is you sort of lack a schedule when you're at home. You're not confined to a strict schedule, so your hours become very flexible. You're not guided by what time to wake up, what time to log into social media, what time to log out. Initially this might seem very liberating, but after a period of time what happens is these flexible work hours sort of become very long work hours, because other things start creeping into the time when you're supposed to be working. So there can be a lot of distractions at home, and that's not monitored, because a lot of offices, what happens is they block social media sites so that the employees just spend their time on the work and don't waste it on something else. But when you're at home, what happens is there's no one to filter this or sort of monitor you. So I know people like patients, or people whom I know, my friends, who've said they pick up the phone just to check something for work, and then they come across one of the social media apps, and then they don't know how many hours have gone by before they
Yeah.
realize they have to get back to work. So this lack of schedule and distractions coming in, and then that affects your biological rhythm sort of. Because your flexible hours become very long working hours, you're stuck working for a very long time, your bedtime gets postponed. So it goes from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. even.
Yeah.
So that affects you, because you never know, you might have a 7 a.m. meeting for which you have to get up again.
Yeah.
So that sort of plays havoc with your biological rhythm. Your sleep gets affected. That affects your ability to work, productivity, efficiency. And yeah, so that I think is basically the reason for stress behind work from home. And another thing is, I think for most of us, we have this emotions attached to our place of work and place of home. I
Yeah.
won't say whether they're negative or positive, but each of us have a set of emotions attached to home, and each set of emotions attached to work. And all along we have this, like we know for 8 hours I'm going to be at office, and then after that I leave it and I go home, and it's a different thing altogether. But now that is lost, because your work and home has become the same place. That disorientation comes in. So that safety of, I can forget this is not work, because work now starts to creep into your personal time and your personal space sort of. So I
Yeah.
think these are the main areas why people get stressed because of work from home.
Hmm. I'm seeing for women especially, it's getting more difficult
Yes.
because they're having to, take care of children or take care of their spouse and maybe in-laws or their own parents. Um, and unlike the workspace, you can't tell that, I will talk to you later. Parents will say, you're at home only. Why don't you just come and help me and then go back to your work? So I think even family members will have to adjust and adapt, especially with the women.
Yes,
They
that's
won't
a
have
very
10 hands.
important issue.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a very important issue you said, because a lot of these interruptions are from family, from children and parents.
Yeah.
Children want your attention. They don't understand that the parent is working. They really want you to give your whole and soul attention to them. So it's difficult for others to appreciate that even though you're working from home, you're still working. The
Working.
amount of work you have to do, the number of hours you have to put in remains the same, just that the place has changed. So because the people you live with are not able to appreciate that, yeah, that causes more stress on the individual. Also, having to refuse your parents or your children causes you to feel guilty.
Yeah. 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 True. 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 Also, what I'm seeing is, if you have both the husband and wife working, uh, they don't share the responsibilities equally.
True.
I mean, yeah, because I think the flexibility can be used in a better way where husbands log in and log out time, it doesn't have to match with wife. They can actually divide, especially if they have a newborn in the house. They can do
Correct.
that. Unfortunately, what is happening is women is having to take care of the children, cook, work, also maybe attend to elders in the house, all of that. So shared responsibility is very, very important. Also, women need to understand that if a child is not very young, you don't need to give them constant attention. You can teach them to, do some of the work by themselves. It's not child labor. You can probably ask them to help you cut some
Yeah.
vegetables or make a soup, and with safety, obviously. That's a good way. Sharing responsibility is important.
Yeah,
Um,
and also to teach them about delayed gratification, to wait in a sense, that not everything you want should be given when you ask for it. That sort of training also for parents and children is required. But yeah, like rightly said, women are facing a lot of stress and burnout because of this working from home, because now they're burdened with the household chores as well as with their usual work.
because you'd be surprised to know that apparently for IT industry the work doubled. Yeah, because they're having more deadlines, more demands, and more projects. Because now the world has become all one click away, right? I mean, everything, there is an
Yeah.
app for everything, so they're having to constantly work, twice the normal for them to up their game. So that is also being a big problem. Because I work with IT patients predominantly. That's why I'm telling you that. Yeah.
True, true.
So
I've heard of it as well.
yeah, yeah. Um, what do you think about day night disorientation for people who are working, shift work? How do you think they can keep up with the family environment? Because see, morning everybody is in the house. So if I have to sleep at that time, it's difficult because child is running. Old people are coughing. Uh, Wife is cooking. Whatever, multiple things, right? So how do you think people can like manage that?
That's a little difficult to do, especially when you're living in the same house and everybody else is awake at the time that you are sleeping. But I think people, at the end of the day, you have to prioritize your health. So you need to get adequate amount of sleep if you have to function well. Of course, there will be the guilt of missing out on your child's activities around the daytime when you are sleeping. But I think in a way, maybe you have the weekends probably when you are not working, when you can be involved in the household activities during the day. That's one thing. But whenever you're working, it's important, I think, to maintain good sleep and not compromise on sleep, because a lot of stress and burnout that happens is because of the imbalance and shift in the sleep cycle.
Yeah.
So yes, even though you have other people at home doing all that, better to sort of practice good sleep hygiene. Might be difficult when you have a lot of members living in a small space, but I think you've addressed sleep hygiene in your previous
Yeah,
session.
certainly. Yeah, yeah. No, but also you can communicate to people that it's very, very
Yes,
important that you need to sleep. So they can, there are some no-go areas that kids can't come and your spouse can't.
correct. And
Also,
yeah,
even
but
in the last talk, I addressed that sleeping while it is still dark is important. A lot of them
yes,
they finish their work at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, and they tend to watch a movie or unwind till 6, and they have breakfast and then they sleep. So, what do you think
that can
about
be
that? That's
quite
not good.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be definitely quite unhealthy, because it's better to try to go to bed while it's still dark outside. That sort of synchronizes with your biological cycle and clock as well, rather
Yeah.
than spend those precious hours doing something frivolous or with social media or television.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that the difference in your usual sleeping time and this is not much.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about not taking mobiles into your workspace? Because in IT company they won't allow. They have to put in the locker and go in. In the house, you are your own boss. So,
I
What do
think
you
that's
think?
a good thing to keep your mobile away, but it's not possible because with work from home, especially, I think all communication happens with mobile phones. So they get their intimation alerts for group meetings or project deadlines on the phone, and that's one of the reasons for stress as well because they're so everybody's so like cautious about the phone and
Yeah.
constantly checking the phone if you've got a message from work or if you've got a reminder about a deadline. So while it is a very good policy to keep the phone away, but at home you have not much of a choice. As far as possible, try not to use the phone for other activities.
Yeah.
If you have to use it for work, definitely you will have to use it. There's no other way because communication happens via your mobile phone. But there are some apps, right? Digital wellness apps which sort of track how much time you spend on particular activity in your phone. I have one on mine as well. So it tells you how many hours you've spent on each social media app or how much time you've spent on the browser and everything. So that helps you keep a check of unnecessarily spending time with a
Yeah.
mobile phone besides work.
Yeah. Yeah. True. True. What do you think about dressing up in your own house to go and sit on a different desk? It sounds very silly, but
I think it's important and it's good. I mean, if you can do it, if you're willing to do it, you must. It makes you feel like you are, getting ready for work. It's important, like it's sort of cue, maybe, to help you set your mind that I have 8 hours of work ahead of me. I have a regular work day ahead of me. So dressing up well makes you feel fresh and sort of motivates you to put in your best than feeling very lazy and not ready to work, sort of.
yeah. I'll tell you a fun fact. I was going through some research. They said that the way your clothes feel on your body, the work clothes, that stimulates the tactile sensation, stimulates some areas of your brain that are required for focused attention.
That's very,
Because of,
I think it's a very true thing.
yeah, because for so long we are used to wear a certain way, certain length or certain thickness and texture. At home, it's very, very different. It's minimal clothing, light clothing, etc. At home, you don't have to have your cortex stimulated so much. So, so I think dressing up is very, very, very important.
Yes.
Even the other day, Suprema was telling for this live, she had done her makeup and she put some lipstick, and she actually felt so good in a long time.
It is true, I think, because we're so used to doing it. Suddenly you're not doing it. I think it sort of makes you feel like, are you really working?
Yeah,
Because anyway, you're just sitting at home, so it doesn't give you the same feeling.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, I think one of the important things is once they're done with work, they'll have to completely cut off from that place and move to another place and not go back, no
Yeah.
matter how
Yeah,
much
that is an, yeah.
pending work is there. What do you
To
think?
yes, to segregate your work area, and for those who can, for whom it's feasible, it's definitely better to segregate your work area and your other living space, because like I said before, we all have that attached certain emotions attached to work and office, home. So that at home, if you can try to replicate that sort of thing by having a separate area, your workstation, which is in a different corner, which does not, it's not used for anything else. Like maybe it's not your coffee table or it's not your dining area or living area. That's a good thing. For those who can do it, that's a very good measure so that your work, somehow you feel that your work is away from your living space.
So I was going through internet, right, for our talk, and I saw an emotional wellness center where a bunch of psychologists work. They put up a schedule that might be feasible for a lot of working people to follow. So let me read out that schedule. I don't know if it will work, but why not? Wake up at 7 a.m., stretch, take care of kids or pets in your house, and practice gratitude in the morning. Don't reach out for your phone. This is at 7 o'clock. You're not going to reach out for your phone. You're not going to check your work mail or which work colleague had called you about some work. Nothing. You're just going to wake up, stretch, take care of kids or animals in the house. 7:30, you're going to have your breakfast and you're going to have family time, which is technology free. You still didn't get to your phone. It's 7:30 and you still didn't get to your phone. Happens in parallel universe, I think. But
I know.
8:30, work and check on updates with breaks every 30 minutes. What do you think? What do you think about taking breaks every 30 minutes? You think it's too much?
I think it's too much. I mean, when you usually work from office, you're not taking breaks every 30 minutes. So it shouldn't be required at home as well. As far, you can still stick to the same sort of schedule that you were sticking to when you were going to work. Yeah, maybe not using the phone at 7:30 is fine, and some family time and all that. But end of the day, even when you're working otherwise, you're not taking a break every 30 minutes. I mean, none of our jobs are loves for it.
No, you and me, we don't
So
take. Like, no, we don't take. I think in IT, there's a rule that they have to take break every 1 hour or something like that.
maybe an hour, yeah, because 30
Yeah,
minutes is
an
too
hour,
short, I
not
feel,
half
to
an
be
hour.
a productive period.
Yes.
So, yeah, your regular breaks are definitely necessary. See, I think the work schedule should be just as how it was when you were going to office. There
Yeah.
shouldn't be a drastic change. So, if you were logging in at 8 a.m. before or logging in at 9 a.m. before, do the same now. You're taking a break at 10:30 before, continue taking a break at 10:30. Don't forego your breaks because you're at home.
Yeah.
Use that break to just walk around maybe, or if you have animals, talk to your pet, have water, continue doing the same thing. I think that's essential to maintain the same sort of rhythm and schedule.
Yeah. What to not do during that break is switch from your laptop to your phone.
Yeah.
One screen to another screen, no. Second is don't go and smoke because a lot of I know a lot of employees they are used to taking their smoke breaks. So I think avoid doing that, especially because of COVID. Now it's a respiratory infection. Smoking only brings
Correct.
down your lungs immunity. So be very careful about that. So like Dr. Sharol said, you can take a flight of stairs, or you can actually go and help your family members cook. Cooking is not a big
Yes.
task if you actually enjoy it. You can do that, or play with your child. So that way, children also are occupied with both the parents' attention. That's a good way. Sometimes just spend time with yourself. Just sit and relax, and maybe listen to some music, something like that.
But always take care not to get engrossed in too much of social media in these breaks,
Yeah,
because then you will not know when to
get carried
disengage.
away.
Yeah, yeah, that's it's. I think a lot of productive time is wasted on them. So I mean, social media is very useful, yes, but you can tend to get drifted and carried away.
You will for sure, not tend. For sure, you'll get drifted. Yeah.
So
So the
yes,
same.
taking breaks is essential, but coming back to work after that is also important.
Yeah. And they're saying, take a proper 45-minute or 1 hour lunch break that you're taking before. Don't try to take small lunch break thinking you'll work finish early. You'll finish work early. So don't do that. So
I
they're
think
trying to
it's
make sure, yeah,
it's
you are in
fair
sync
enough.
with
I
your
mean,
own. Yeah,
yeah, you're trying to be the same, what you've been doing all these years.
yeah, the time
So
zone.
less changes.
Yeah. So when you log out at 5 o'clock, you can start planning your dinner and completely take break from routine. Maybe you can follow your news for 5-10 minutes and then get back to your family, friend, or a loved one. And every day, I mean, this person said 7 o'clock. I don't know why. 7 o'clock to 7:30 is a period of self-care, only with you. No family, no children, no pets, nothing. I
Self
mean,
care is important, but
very,
that is
very.
irrespective of work from home, I believe. That's for everybody.
Yeah. So this is the technique that schedule that they put out. So maybe it works for a lot of people. Yeah. What do you think about working with a baby? It's very difficult.
It is very difficult. But I think if they don't have additional help, a lot of mothers would prefer to work from home with the baby, especially if you're not able to find a nanny or somewhere to drop off the baby. Then they might find it convenient to be at least physically present in the house. But it leads to a lot of burden on the mother, because when the baby is awake, when the baby is crying, she has to give her attention to it. Baby needs a lot of attention. So she has to put in extra hours later to cover up for her work. So, in the sense, if you're not able to hire help, or if you're not able to find a place to drop off your baby to for the particular number of hours that you're working, then yes, working from home is a boon for them, because they can be present physically in the house, watch over the baby. But of course, the baby's needs and all that will come in the way of your work. So you will have to end up putting in extra hours.
Yeah. Also, if you have like a important meeting or like a conference call or something, try to match it with your baby's nap timing.
Baby's schedule, yes.
Baby schedule, and especially when the baby is
You have to
napping.
work around the baby's schedule.
It's difficult. I know it's very easy to say, easier said than done, but you can still do it. You can probably talk to your boss about how you can have a modified schedule because you're working with a baby in the house. Also, when you're on call, let the other coordinate know that I have a child, so there might be an interruption in between because unexpected they will say there's a lot of disturbance and you'll get frustrated, you'll go beat your baby, then you'll feel guilty, that whole cycle that you'll be trapped in.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, working with older children should be a little more easier. You're supposed to give them um, undivided attention after your work and before your work, not during your work. During your work, give them some homework or some activity for them to get on with it. Now, problem is, Dr. Sharol, I'm seeing online classes have started for a lot of children. So if you have, like, let's just say 2 laptops in the house, how does one manage? Because they're logging in late because of this particular reason.
So yeah, parental supervision is, I think, required for these online classes most of the time because
Yeah.
kids as old as 7, 8 years also have classes, and they may not really be able to do everything by themselves. Again, like you said, the parent will have to work around the time of the child's classes because I believe the classes are not the entire day, at least for most people.
Yeah.
They don't have like how school hours are. The classes are maybe 3 or 4 hours in a day and usually followed with homework assignments. That again, parents have to supervise. But at least when it comes to using the laptop or the phone for the classes, the parents will have to work around, uh, find out the timings of the classes and somehow communicate to their team as to when they'll be available after the child's classes. I think communication is very important in all these areas.
Yeah.
So letting your employer or boss and team know that when can you be available when you're working from home.
True. Also, if you can afford, maybe at least rent a laptop next 3 months or 6 months or whenever, so you don't feel frustrated because logging in 3 hours late is obviously logging out 3 hours late. So you'll end up missing
Yes.
family time and self-care time and everything. And it's already night. So you can probably borrow your laptop from a friend. It's just 5 days a week. So maybe you can figure out a way to work on your mobile phone till
Yes.
your baby is done with the online
Uses the
classes.
laptop. Yeah.
Yes, you can do that. It's basically you making strategies, alternative strategies to adapt. That's one thing. Um, Job insecurity is obviously a very, very big thing now. Yeah, for a lot of people. That is again causing a lot of stress. So I tell all my patients to not make any impulsive financial decisions. Just go with the flow, see how much money needs to be mobilized, uh, and go according to that. Because I know some of the people are selling some of the property because they could be out of the job. So I tell them not to do any of that.
Yeah. In times like these, being impulsive and hasty is a little, I think, should be avoided. Trade with caution because a lot of people are actually losing jobs. And, for business, certain industries are not doing well. People are being laid off. So in these times, it is probably better to, yes, go with the flow, not make any hasty decisions, try to accommodate, adjust as far as possible because hopefully these are not permanent times and we will see better times ahead. So till then, to just tide away and try your best to manage.
Yeah,
Of course, not at the cost of your health, but as far as possible, try to accommodate
yeah,
rather
yeah.
than taking an impulsive, hasty decision.
Yeah. Also, I think India doesn't have a strong support groups. The whole uh, idea of it. So maybe you can form like a support group of other people who are working from home. So you all can share some ideas, maybe share some articles online, or some tips and hacks or how to feel better and things like that. I think when you know that 10 more people are in the same ship as you, you'll actually feel a little
You,
better. In a
yes.
slightly
So I
sadistic
think
way,
that's
you might feel
that's
better.
Yeah, but I think that's something everybody should understand, that these problems are common to a lot of people right now. It's not an issue like job, even these stresses with work from home. It's common to a lot of people. So yes, we should. I mean, probably take a little bit of what do you say, in the fact that it's not just you. There are a lot of people who are going through the same thing. So take some courage in that, and hopefully this is not permanent.
Yes. I was going through some techniques. Sorry, go ahead. Did I
No,
stop?
no, 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 nothing, nothing.
Yeah. I was going through something called the Pomodoro method.
Okay.
It's not medical. Like we wouldn't know this. Yeah, we wouldn't know this. It's just
Okay.
yeah. It's a time management technique. Set timer every 25 minutes or 45 minutes according to your convenience, and take a 5 or 10 minute break. After four of these 25-minute sessions, take a break that is 30 minutes long. Continue with these intervals throughout your work time. Apparently, this Pomodoro method is the most successful method for time management and proper. I mean, something that we both learned today. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I
Yeah.
know. I mean, probably they have seen it being done in people and have come to that conclusion. So,
Yeah. Also, what do you think about the importance of posture in having better work productivity?
yeah, that is, I think, a very key area, because a lot of people complain of backache and neck ache and all that because of continuously working from home. Because mostly the what do you say, the infrastructure or the furniture that's available in offices is in keeping with ergonomics.
Made for.
So it's suited to for for long hours and keeping the comfort of the employee in mind. At home, we don't have these sort of furniture and things like that. So I think if it is, if you know that, but that is a good thing I've heard, that some firms are actually allotting some funds to employees to invest in these sort of things. So they
Yes.
are sort of doing it. I know a couple of companies in Bangalore itself which have done these. So that is a good initiative, I feel, because that this is going to go on for a long period of time. It's already been 6 months. We don't know how long it's lasting. So they have been doing that. So sort of invest in, like a suitable chair, suitable workstation, which helps you to keep a correct posture. You even have some sort of back binders and things like that, which can be used. So it helps you maintain a good posture, because definitely posture is going to be an issue when you're sitting for 8 hours in uncomfortable chairs and things like that.
Yeah. True. True. I mean, if your company is not sponsoring for anything like that, at least if you can afford invest into a good
Yes.
chair, or at least rent it. There are a lot of rentals that came across. I saw,
Yeah.
which is bare minimal. It's not too much. So for a
Yeah.
couple of months, that's not a bad idea. Because there is no comfortable chair in the house, I know a lot of people are lying down on the bed, lounging, and then accessing their computer for work. Such
It can be very disastrous.
yeah, it can be very disastrous for your work. You'll end up getting carried away with your time, and you'll log out pretty late. That is very important. I think we discussed pretty much all the things. I have a question for you. Most companies or organizations these days arrange for group calls or activities online. So, what is your opinion regarding that?
Yeah, I mean, this is a good, see, in a way, it's a good thing. Like, there are a lot of companies, I've heard from friends as well as from patients, that, the company organizes once a week thing, where sometimes they even, they're really fancy. They hire a comic for the whole group to have a comedy show sort of thing, or they organize games. So these are all good initiatives, because, it sort of helps you keep in touch with your colleagues and your team. But while it is good, I still feel that a one-on-one interaction is very essential. It's a good thing. See, this is a large group interaction. There's 20, 30 people who come in a team, and all of you are sitting together in your respective houses for a comic show or for a game night or something like that. But oftentimes, for many people, their colleagues are the only friends they have.
Yeah.
So it's essential to have a one-on-one interaction, a more intimate interaction, where you can discuss your issues or problems, especially for people who live away from their homes and they live alone. So in that context, I feel they still need to have maybe, regular calls with their work buddies. Office buddies will have to become work from home buddies. So you have regular calls and keep yourselves updated about each other, so that you don't miss that rapport and interaction that you used to have while you're going to the workplace.
Yeah, yeah. That's correct. Also, if you're in an apartment or in a gated community where if someone else is from even from another office, if you can work with them together in a same workspace, or three of you can work in same room, so you'll actually feel like it's your office space. So maybe in that
Yeah.
way you'll actually feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how feasible is it and how safe is it. You should know other person's
Yeah.
contact history and everything. According to that, yeah, you
True,
should be able
but
to.
many a times what happens is colleagues, they are flatmates and things like that. So then that is sort of beneficial when you have
Yeah.
a colleague as a flatmate. So you don't totally lose that, interaction with humans in a way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, light is so important because also now it's not summer anymore. So some places are obviously dark and gloomy, but it's raining. So it's very easy for you to not have light in your room, or you're working from a dark room. Now the problem with that is obviously eye strain is going to be more if you work in a dark space with a computer. And second is understand that for you to have good sleep, you need something called melatonin, and that is only secreted by proper daylight and night light.
Yeah.
So for that, at least your office space in the work that you created should be close to a well, ventilated and lighted area. So your brain knows that, oh, this is morning, and it will get all its
Yes.
systems active to work productive.
Yeah.
So light is very essential.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else are we missing out on? We have 5 more minutes. I believe.
Any thing, I think one other thing is people should learn how to be assertive and say no. I feel
Yes.
a lot of times people take on far too much than they can actually deal with or chew on their plate. So again, communication is key. So without offending your boss or employee, because what I have seen right now is there is nothing called office timings anymore. Work just stretches into all hours and all days of the week. Even the weekends are gone. What I've seen from my patients and what I've seen from others as well. So learning to say no assertively, but at the same time not very rude, like not sort of threatening your job
Yeah.
security. But it's key, I think, to be able to be firm and say that, if it's not essential, I'm not doing it right now. I will always do it at a later date. So those sort of things I feel essential so that you don't get stressed and burdened out. And another thing is, both for men and women, what has happened is a lot of us did not have additional help at our home in these past few months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we are used to having somebody help us out with household work and everything. So some people tend to take everything on. Like every day I will sweep, swab, do, dust, everything, and then do my 8 hours of work. It's not possible. Don't try to do something like that. A lot of people, I've heard people say, no, I'll wake up at 7 and have a quick breakfast, then I'll dust, sweep, swap, and 10 o'clock I'll log into work. You weren't doing it when you were going to office. How do you think you can mange that now without feeling overstressed or burdened?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
capabilities or your efficiency has not increased manifold over the past few months. So don't try to do that. Try to be limit yourself to doing how much you can do. Don't try to overburden yourself, especially with this household work. And also when because of this extended working hours, try to restrict how much work you take on.
Yeah.
you know because now people assume that anyway you're working from home, what else do you have to do? You might as well work. But don't do that. That's a very unhealthy habit to cultivate, I feel. Once your 8 hours are done for the day or your 9 hours are done for the day, please log out and spend the rest of the day doing your personal activities. That's very essential, I feel, and be assertive about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's rightfully said. Assertiveness is a gift. Not everybody has it.
True.
I think,
Yes.
I think,
Yes.
I think you should learn it. I actually did a couple of posts about assertiveness when you like last month or something. People who are watching, please go back and learn how to say no. You can't obviously be rude. Um,
Yes.
while knowing to say no, as Dr. Sharol said, also kindly, if someone needs help, help them in this period and let them help you. Sometimes we tend to think like, I don't want to ask help. I will do everything by myself. Don't do that. It's okay. This is the one time that all of us need to help each other. So be kind, but also be assertive. If it's coming to people taking granted, people are taking you granted and giving you to pushing off their work on you and things like that. Definitely, you can't succumb to that. Yeah. All right. I think that brings us to end. What do you think? We covered everything. I think we covered pretty much everything,
I
right?
think pretty much. But what do you think in the long run, like this is going to continue? What will be the pros and cons of, work from home in the long run?
I mean, two things can happen. One is you'll get adjusted to it and you'll start loving it. You'll actually, I know a lot of people, little privileged population, setting up the office space in the house, putting little plants there, and they're enjoying their own space. Some
Yeah.
people, especially if you are living in a paying guest hostel and your parents are away, you have no social interaction. They are definitely struggling. So whenever it is safe, it's okay. At least travel back to your hometown, work from there, so you don't have to feel lonely, and you don't have to also keep paying money for the paying guest hostel that you're not staying, because it's gonna stay. This is gonna stay for like few more months, is what I
Yes.
feel. But again, time will tell.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think more than a month, few more months, it's going to be here for a while, because a lot of organizations are thinking of making work from home a culture. Sort of even once, I think once we are probably hopefully out of COVID, also a lot of people, a lot of organizations want to make it like half the month working from home and half the month coming to work, those sort of things. So we will have to gear up and adapt ourselves to this work from home culture.
Yeah, yeah. Someone asked about how to control stress with the long working hours. You'll have to go back and see the entire video. You'll know a lot of tips were shared because we're running out of time. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sharol. It was wonderful. We are meeting after a
Thank
long time
you.
through this.
I know it's been very long. Thank you so much. I'm really sorry for all the technological glitch at the
No problem.
beginning.
No problem. No problem. Thank your dad for his phone and he letting you use his Instagram account. You take care, Shadow. Stay safe. I'll get in touch with you.
You too, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.